Get some quick tips for how to jump higher on inline skates and unlock a bunch of new street spots for skating. These all worked for me, hopefully they'll work for you. I believe that all you have the ability to at least jump to the height of your waist. Some people can go further than that. There's some pro skaters out there that can somehow skate obstacles that are like shoulder height on them, which I don't understand, but it shows that nothing is impossible. You can definitely skate those like mid-thigh height rails if you just put the practice in. I believe most of this comes down to confidence versus like how tall you are or how fit you are. I think you just need to know that you can trust your feet to get you high enough to skate an obstacle. That's the biggest bar to get past. Now, if all the average handrails are above hip up on you, then you've definitely got a rougher take in life. It's going to be a lot harder for you to unlock these obstacles, but nothing is impossible. There are skaters out here that jump up there. Somehow they do it. I believe these tips will help you get to being able to do that. Now, since I think it's mostly confidence, what I've found to help me the most is just to remind myself how high I can jump. And the way I do that is not by practicing just jumping on the spot, not by trying to jump over things, but by trying to jump onto things. I believe this is the best way, the safest way, and the easiest way to track how high you can jump. So what I want you to do is go find obstacles that slowly scale in height and jump onto them until you reach one that you feel like you can't jump onto. If you don't have any kind of scalable ledges to jump onto, then you are kind of screwed. But keep an eye out. There's got to be something you can jump on somewhere where you live. There's got to be something. Now, some tips to help you get onto it. This might not work for you, but it works for me. I found you don't want to do like roll up to the ledge, crouch, and then spring up. I find I don't get as much height doing that as if I do a kind of springy motion where I go down then up to jump, if that makes sense. If I do the springy motion, I find I get a good like inch more out of the height. I don't know what's happening there, but it's worth a try if you're trying to get more height. I also would recommend going quite slow at the ledges to do this. I find if you go slow, you won't have the problem of your feet kind of getting tripped up as you jump up. You don't have to jump as high to get up to. You have to go higher the faster you go, essentially. I would aim to clip the edge too as you come up. For me, this makes it feel more doable, not only because I don't think you have to jump quite as high if you clip like that, but it feels safer too because you can catch yourself so you don't do this kind of rolling out backwards if you land up the top too low or something. And yeah, overall, it really helped me push further than I think I can with jumping onto obstacles. Now, this jumping onto things is just part one of unlocking higher obstacles, but it's something I think you should incorporate with all your regular sessions. Just get really comfortable with jumping at your max height. The more comfortable you get with your max jump, the more you should move on to something higher, but you should also try to spin into the thing. Try 180 up onto it. Try 360 if you're absolutely crazy. Just get really confident with jumping onto something up to like hip height, or further if you can find something. The more you do your PB, the easier it'll feel to get up there, and the more confidence you have in your ability to jump. But the further you go past this hip height thing, the more spots you unlock, and the easier the kind of mid-thigh height things will feel. So it's definitely always worth pushing to see how far you can jump. And it doesn't matter if you're nowhere near hip height straight away, you can get there just by practicing, trust me. If you keep going at it, the more confident you get at jumping on your feet, the more balanced you feel jumping, the further you'll be able to go. But that's just step one. It's another big step to get over to be able to get up and jump and grind things that high. Now, hopefully the obstacle you just learned to jump on lines up with like a street spot height that you've been eyeing up, or if you're even luckier like me, the thing itself is grindable. Because now you have no excuses for not being able to jump up onto this obstacle. If you can jump onto it, you can jump on and grind it. Now, sadly, moving from jumping onto an obstacle to jumping into a grind is quite a big hurdle that there isn't really many shortcuts for, and it is pretty much all on you. The way I approach it is I will aim to stall it, do a very slow grind to get the feel for it, and then full send it. And that's how I'd recommend approaching it yourself. And that it is pretty much all on you at this point. But I do have 2 quick tips that should help you out. The first one is the old springy jump tip I mentioned earlier. You should definitely give that a go. It was a game changer for me. Don't roll up crouch, roll up standing and do a quick crouch, then jump right as you jump onto the obstacle, and maybe get so much more height out of my jump at a time where I felt like I couldn't. And yeah, if it works for you, please let me know. If it doesn't, come tell me, because I want to know if it's just me, some kind of freak accident. The second tip is to focus on learning how to miss the tricks and how to save yourself. I think this is super important. You should never be skating an obstacle where it feels like if you don't lock in perfectly, that you're gonna you don't know what's gonna happen. You're gonna die. You know, you should feel like if things go wrong, you can save yourself. And I would highly recommend practicing this. For the stall step of this, practice even purposely missing the trick and catching yourself. On ledge, this comes pretty naturally. You just put your hands down and catch yourself
on the ledge. On rail, I find it doesn't come quite as naturally. You need to think about catching the rail. Catching the rail is the savior for skating rail. Doesn't matter what's going on, if you're flying down steps, if it's a flat rail, if you're upside down, if you grab the rail, you're going to land back on your feet and be much better off. The second you lose grip of that rail, that's when things get real scary. Practice missing the trick and catching yourself. Not just with the stall, but also with the slow grind. And you'll find this will make the spot a lot less intimidating. If you're rolling up to the spot knowing like, hey, if I miss, I'm going to be fine. And hey, if I don't balance properly, I know what to do to save myself. It's going to be way less scary. And if you're not doing it like that, you're doing it in a full send where it's like I have to lock in and make it to the end. You're making it way harder for yourself. And then a quick bonus tip is just I would highly recommend skating a rail. If you have the option, making sure the rail is shorter than your legs, because if you split a rail that's taller than your legs, it'll absolutely suck. And there's a final motivator to all the shorter rollerbladers out there. There's something I've noticed in pro skaters. You notice that most of the like shorter ones, they tend to be able to grind obstacles that are above waist height on them, more so than the taller ones. The taller ones seem to be capped at this like waist high spot. So you can definitely do it. Don't get discouraged by your height. You can do it.
But yeah, just make skating higher things part of your regular session and jumping onto things part of your regular practice, and watch the possibilities open up. Believe in yourself and you might be surprised by what you can actually achieve. I believe in you. If you have any tips on jumping high on skates, please let us know in the comments down below. And if you found this helpful at all, I'd appreciate a like, maybe subscribe for more tutorials. And always want to give a massive thank you to my patrons. I couldn't make these videos without their support. If you want to help me continue to make super niche videos about rollerblading, consider supporting me on there. Anyway, yeah, go for a skate today, unlock those higher spots, and go out and kill it. Get out in the streets. You can do it.